idea. I started with one post called Quadratic Development of Consciousness, and I want to flesh out another idea that maybe coincides with this. If you haven't watched the first video about quadratic development, I would suggest you go back to that, because this one connects to the earlier video. So if the quadratic development of consciousness is roughly accurate, then I'm going to postulate that 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 equals 1, but this 1 is on a higher level, so this 1 is inclusive of 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. So it's a novel 1. It's a recycling, a restart of the cycle, like a fractal, if you think of it. So the numbers here are referring to the quadrants. One is a unification, as I mentioned, so it's a unification of the past cycle. 2 looks to the duality, so it's adding 2 ones, myself and another. So this forms the we, the lower left in Ken Wilber's quadrant model. 3 adds 1 plus 2, so the subject and the intersubjective space. So now it's transcended and included both of those spaces. So when it understands its own subject and the intersubjective dynamics, then you can understand behavior. Because you're understanding both yourself and the behavior of 2 individuals interacting, now you understand the behavior, or a third-person objective perspective. 4 is the conclusion of the cycle. It's a master of its domain. It's the place in which it looks back on all of what's went before, but it cannot yet look over the horizon of a new unification. It's on the edge, on the precipice of something novel, something new. So therefore it has its greatest danger, because it can be arrogant, thinking it's the very end. There's nothing more. It's nothing greater than this. So it's that place in which you can look back and see everything. There is no God, as it were, because you have come to the end of your God, that is the cycle, and you can only look back, and you cannot yet look forward. So that's the danger of the 4th stage, but it also has the greatest power, because it can totally control that which went before. So that's the theory. And then so when you jump to the next order, it starts at 1 and recycles, but it's the new cycle includes what went before. So if this is the case, and what I'm thinking is, for example, in the spiral dynamics model has 6 on 6. What this would mean, if this is correct, it would mean, for example, that beige and magic were the end of the emotional cycle, if you will. It's the end of the limbic system activation, and with purple, you're at that same precipice, just like green, for example. And if this system would there'd be a parallel between green and magic, green and purple, because purple's on the precipice to seeing a new way of looking at reality, ergo mind, first-person perspective. And green is at a precipice of looking into an integrative space, a place of more and more holisms, or soul, or something of this kind of thinking. But it's mind plus. It's a whole new cycle. So it would be, for example, there would be probably 4, like for impulses, you'd have a set of 4. Then you get into emotions, a set of 4, and into the mind, a set of 4, and then into the soul, which would be a set of 4 also. And so the mind would be red, which is your first realization of I am a self, and then blue, orange, and then green, and then you step up. And you can kind of start to witness your mind in action. So that's the transformation into yellow consciousness. Yeah, so that's what I'm postulating here. I don't know if I'm right. But that's the theory, so it goes. Let me hear your comments.